to boast that is actually true. You actually have a centralized cell within the BJP which actually in the morning it decides, okay, these are today's messages which are to be publicized. And they're kind of broadcast to various parts of the country. The BJP's messaging is carefully tailored and highly produced, with the party's star campaigner front and center in virtually all of it. The Modi motorcade drives through throngs of cheering Indians. The videos from that make it to WhatsApp groups, YouTube shorts, and Instagram reels. The Prime Minister hangs out with kids in schools and presents 20 something social media influencers with awards from the government. He prays at multiple temples with cameras in tow. Even if the holy site is underwater, those clips don't just stay on social media, they make the evening news bulletins. Look closely on the screens. He even decided to go underwater to pray at the submerged Dwarka. All this part of media.
I don't know what is this $499. It's
something. Maybe it's just subscription.
see this boy. He's keeping transferring money from his account. That's why I don't know why.
Yesterday I saw 60 inside his account. Is that right?
Yeah,
I
no.
sent it to you.
Yeah, he has 58 because he used I don't know what is this. He used 2 point something, 2.1. So he has 58.90.
Maybe for load.
58 point. That's why he entered again here. I didn't enter. It was in the iPhone. That's why I'm not giving he registered in the iPhone. This your Bang Sohar.
You can use in the iPhone.
No, he transferred it here. He closed that in the iPhone. No, he closed the one in the iPhone and he put it here. So he can open anytime you phone. That's why sometimes
That's why I have to stop letting him to use the phone now. I don't trust him. Better.
See, he just wait. Is that Filipino? Don't hear it from you.
Hmm?
That's when Marcos.
Well, this guy's making more problem for your country. Even George is saying that. It's why China become more aggressive with them. I don't know what to tell you.
The community is mourning after the death of 4 people, including a teenage girl. 15-year-old Jenna Newcomb's mother says she died protecting her sister and a friend.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Farmer protests in Europe have been going on for several consecutive months.
We're in a situation that we didn't expect to be because now we have the potential for criminal liability seemingly right around the corner.
But what about all those lawsuits already levied against P. Diddy?
The first thing I thought was there is stuff she knows that he does not want coming out. Because that is an incredibly quick settlement.
From Cassie to Lil Rod, and allegations ranging from the 90s to now, we're taking a closer look at everyone who's filed.
Hindi makakatulong yung mga salita na wala yan, kaya mo yan. O minsan ipaparamdam pa natin sa kanila na parang umaarte lang sila. Hindi po, yun po ay isang serious na karamdaman sa pag-iisip. At ang
An intended divorce is a nasty situation to be.
pagsuporta. Huwag natin magsasalita ng mga bagay na makakasakit sa kanila dahil very sensitive sila sa mga salita na sinasabi at mga kilos na pinapakita sa kanila. Lalo na ng mga taong mahal nila sa buhay. Makakatulong na lagi natin mag-program sa kanila na lagi tayo nasa tabi nila at ang nagbibigyan at ang suporta upang sa ganon maramdaman nila na meron silang mapatatampuhan kapag sila nakakailangan. Dahil isipin natin na hindi basta-basta ang pinagdaraanan ng mga taong may depresyon. Kaya dapat tayo maging maingat sa ating salita, sa ating mga kinikilos dahil inoobserbahan nila at sensitive sila sa lahat ng mga yan. Pero importante sa kanila na maramdaman nila na mayroong somebody na nakikinig sa kanila na handang tumulong na mayroong totoong pagmamahal. Lalo-lalo na kapag hirap na hirap na sila. Kapag mayroong kayong mga mahal sa buhay, kaibigan,
I told him you have spellings. You don't even.
Sorry?
They have spellings, no?
Yeah, there's nothing. I remember. I asked him, you know, when they would have this competition, he said, he don't know, but I told him it must be soon because they're giving that paper, no? Maybe any day this
I
week.
think on April.
This guy's coming, we can do it together. If
Yeah.
he's there, yeah.
I'll
Tell
go
him,
now there. I'll go and check.
tell him to write them down on a piece of paper
Yeah.
in his exercise book for English. He has his pen and pencils, everything there.
Yeah.
It's just wasting time.
I'll go there.
Sure.
В результате работы с задержанными террористами, исследований изъятых у них технических устройств,
Yes, it will
анализа
be to
сведений о финансовых операциях, получено доказательства их связи с украинским националистом. В распоряжении следствия имеются подтвержденные данные о поступлении исполнителям теракта значительных сумм денежных средств и криптовалюты из Украины, которые использовались при подготовке преступлений. Установлен и задержан еще один подозреваемый. Он участвовал в схеме финансирования террористов. Следствие будет ходатайствовать перед судом об избрании в отношении него меры пресечения в виде заключения под стражу.
Well, first of all, can I thank everybody that turned up? I know some people have travelled from out of town. I do
This match brings to the neutral screen one of the greatest amateur teams that ever wore football. Amateurs, but already they've beaten nearly all the track professionals. These boys have made the name of the Trojans Club world famous. In pace and ball control, they have no equals anywhere. Once near the goal, it's next door to a dead circle. Now watch another onslaught on the enemy. Essentially has the ball, and he's making it along like a mother nursing a baby. Yes, it's a goal. That proves the Trojan essentially has got up to the first goal of the season already. This one there is one of the most dazzling spots in the team all time long. Before the great chance of will the Trojans maintain their wonderful record? By the Arsenal, Bowden sky high. Eddie Hepburn, left back and Arsenal captain. Bryn Jones, he cost Arsenal as much as the ball, and he's almost a game.
So I give paper.
Huh?
I give pen and pencil and paper,
And there's not.
and then yeah, Yaya will read for him, and he's writing.
Good. Very good.
Drake, centre forward, tall, dark, and handsome. Swindon, the goalkeeper, still in his winter ruler. And Tom Whitaker, that famous trainer. Now for the Trojans. Here's Francis Kindler, Secretary of Ordnance.
Very good, Frank. You absolutely very good.
Orban go. Welcome left wing, Reed left back. Gallo centre half, Brown left half. Then there's Brett, centre forward, and Turner, inside left. And Charlie right back, the Trojans' brilliant captain. Now here's a man to watch, Murray. This is his last match before he gets married. After that, his wife will watch him. Setchley has a lady friend. It's Helen the Trojans' basket. They pin a badge on Helen every time they win. Setchley looks after her. He's the only one on the team she can trust. Now for the Trojans' dark horse, Jack Joyce, inside right. Joyce has only just joined the team, but he's a well-known amateur. Great things are expected of him.
You know, Joyce? It's not fair, Mr. Kidder. Well, I hope there's nothing wrong.
This time,
may be a little weak, Mr. Leo.
Break a record.
I'm going to see them later.
How'd you like that stuff?
Oh, very interesting indeed.
They're showing that all over the country.
I read it. Yes, they do. Well, Frank, it's 12 o'clock now. Meet in the stadium at 3.
That's right. They'll begin wheeling us off 10 minutes past, what?
Oh, I hope not. Not so well.
Program! Official program is date. Thank you. Program!
US to send bombs and warplanes to Israel. 4 hours ago. See these people? It's like the Russians, they came in the way now for the Red Sea with their Navy.
What is that plane?
Which is American Boeing. If they're using those to send rockets. Scanning the speaker here.
So now this airplane is going to drop.
Yeah, it's going to Israel. I hope they can shoot that thing down. See how they agreed. See how bad he used to speak. As big as airplane.
They are both on.
Yeah. This guy can come down in any second. Any stick. It's corrupt as well. 2,000 bombs. A big worries of possible Rafah assault. Treating these people like animals. No, these people. $3.8 billion US dollars. Yes. Before he was sending it to Ukraine, and then in the end, the Congress stopped him. They said no more for Ukraine, only Israel now. And they lost that. You almost lost Ukraine. All that money wasted. The people died.
And the country is dead. I mean,
Ruined.
broken.
Ruined.
Yeah.
They
There
thought
is,
that they can win against Russia. That's stupid.
you don't think?
Russia's
Russia
very
is,
powerful.
yeah. Russia is the biggest,
Very powerful. And they have so much manpower.
yeah.
It's already these Ukrainians, the army, all these people, 500,000 of their soldiers have been killed.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, very good.
I mean, these people is stop to do
Evil,
this.
evil. Satan.
You don't think Ramadan and
No, we want to stop Islam.
no, even this Israel now it doesn't want to stop, even
It
though
doesn't want
lots,
to stop, even if America told them to stop.
yeah,
They
even
refuse.
lots of countries want to stop. No, he doesn't
Most
want
of the
to.
countries in the world, they had vote in the UN for immediate ceasefire.
Yeah.
And America said it's not okay. They said okay, yeah, but it's not non-binding. It means that they don't have to, what's the word, follow that. What's that? Okay, the war will go on. You guys will keep sending more and more weapons to kill these innocent Palestinian civilians,
Yeah.
and you're not giving them food, you're blocking all the ways. What is this? This is Rafah, camps in Rafah.
It's food.
Yeah, this is the place that Israel they want to,
Bomb.
yeah, they're already bombing different places, but they want to go in with their soldiers. It's the same as the last place where Hamas are. That's why America giving them weapons now, so they can wipe these people out, and they can take their land.
Lots of kids, huh?
Yes, yes. They're only staying in tents there. What about toilet, nothing? Water. Look, they have donkey to pull that trailer. One donkey. you.
Some people love a little bit of drama. There must be strangers in the town. But some people love a lot. Be moved. Be comforted. Be surprised. All the time. Anytime. The more drama, the better. I want you always to be loved. With drama on UK TV Play, you can watch your favourite shows on demand. It can be easier. There's no such thing as too much drama. Enjoy drama on demand. Watch for free now with UK TV Play.
How you got this?
I don't know. To be afraid not to join them, so.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Do you want free live TV channels that you can watch on all of your devices? If you do, then in this video we're going to take a look.
dati gamit. Apa ini lolo? Apa lagi?
Have that file for receipts. Can you give to me when you have time?
Which file?
File
Receipt for the.
receipt for all the things that we buy. It used to be kept in the file which is yellow and red. Because I have some receipts I want to put there. Separate from the black book, which is for the car and the battery and the parts.
This one.
Yeah, that's one. Just keep on the table there.
This is for the
But
post
there are
box.
no other receipts in there?
This is for the post box. And this is the receipt.
Okay, just leave them there. Thank you.
Well, the receipt for the
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, I found them. Okay, Una.
the boss, huh?
Sure.
1 year warranty.
Inshallah.
I want the screen which too is too much mess in this room.
You asking why?
Maybe they're playing and the remote is broken.
For what? TV?
Hmm.
My God.
Boys, frying up an okra, sir.
It's a problem, really. What's the problem with these friends and that? They just mess the place up. Somebody has to go in there and tidy it up, and not them. Let them to be the one.
is there broken all the things. It's very rough. This young for kids.
You have to ask him to replace it. Huh? If he breaks something, you have to replace it. It's not a toy. Cool. زين الحمد لله. كيف حالك؟ Did you able to do any of that, what they call spellings? Spellings.
Four flannel shirts.
Hello.
6 pairs of drawers. How do I look?
Hello.
Look an idiot. 2 pairs of lights.
Yeah, was you able to do any of those spellings? Okay, and please take care of your things in the room. Mama, she went there. She told me your remote control is broken and big mess.
She's willing.
Tidy up the room and don't break anything. Okay? Tell your hair what? Okay, thank you. Bye.
Guidebook.
Didn't have to ask for a kiss.
Damn, his bloody guidebook. Go clear for Mr. Simon.
Kissing's all right, isn't it?
Now, pocket canvas. So as he can find his way home again.
Not require my presence here during the vacation. The vacation is for holiday. Holidays are anathema to me, as you know. I should take plenty of work with it. Work in them famous jacket on remember.
Observe the past and future of the college. Ashby goes away every year, and every year it's exactly the same. Dreadful wringing of hands and paroxysms of guilt. Imagine what it must be like. Living with the fear that you might return from foreign parts and find that a new soup tureen has been purchased without full meeting of the college council.
I was told to help the guy looking out to Mr. Ashby.
Ah, yes. I've marked out some interesting routes for him. So be careful.
You precipices, the odd chasm. With your advice, he'd be like to come back alive.
He'll not only come back alive, he'll also come back a world authority on alpine exploration.
Good, my lord. You have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as our right fit.
As vice president of the college, I'm fully aware of my responsibilities. Should your help, because it should, but you do understand.
That's it. That's it.
President,
I found my Cordelia. Have you found the King Lear? Not yet. One or two prospects. Might have to play the part myself.
You want to leave? Then we should search among that sort of men. Wells, and the sheep, betrayal, and greed, the head of an Oxford college. Thank you, dear.
look at it, they're not married, but they're sorry. Time every time. You're not proposing to bring some elderly widow out of the cupboard, are you,
You're fully aware of my views on the subject.
Only based in ancient Greece.
Not a bad example to follow.
Well, farewell, gentlemen. I wish I had the time, actually. I should gladly volunteer to help you carry your bags. Well, in my experience as mayor, surely people carry much bags. This is rural Switzerland, not Paris. You'll be tested by mountain guides every foot of the way. But do take care. Most of them could lead you across their living rooms. Well, there are incompetent in all walks of life, Mr. Simon. Sure, I can recognize him by now. The vacancy on the 9th. Yes, just Mr. Cornish. Oh, very good. Oh, and do examine the bed sheets carefully, especially in mountain guest houses. You have my address. I shall have 4.5 days traveling. I rely on you. Look after yourself.
It's too much news.
Hmm?
Too much news. What is it?
I told him, I said, Mama told me they brought the remote controller. I said, you take care of the things and tell Yahya as well. And then I said, get on with your spellings and keep the room tidy and tidy it up. Like that he has to be spoken to. The way he's
Because
doing
even the
sometimes.
bed sheets is off.
Hmm?
Even the bed sheets of the bed is off.
No, these guys. That's why sometimes I don't like these things coming. Somebody has to go and clear that up.
Get this 16 really. Eggs. Good for the Ramadan.
Yeah. If I could buy it online.
That's sure.
It does look nice though.
Huh?
Does look nice.
Hmm.
In a different color.
Hmm.
That also looks good.
I think this one is nice.
The blue, yeah.
XL or 2X?
I don't know the size. 2X maybe too big.
Well, General Mike Flynn says the bridge collapse in Baltimore is a black swan event. Now, it's much bigger than we know, so let's unpack this. And I have to say, I've done everything over the past 24 hours since this collapse happened in the early morning hours to say nothing to see here, total accident, mechanical problem, of
So
course,
we're gonna go
mechanical
sometime
failure,
for
power outage, nothing to see here, don't worry about it.
They are not
Then
safe,
General Mike
but
Flynn
tomorrow we'll
has
see
to go
tomorrow.
call this a black swan event and says, look more deeply into this. So we have. And there's more than meets the eye. So what is a black swan event? Well, black swan event is, you're just chugging along, looking at normal, white swans that you normally see, and then suddenly everything seems predictable and normal, and then bam, giant black swan comes out of nowhere. Something totally unexpected blindsides you. That usually happens economically, right? We see that obviously with what happened in the 2008 collapse. That's exactly what that black swan event looks like. That's the essence of the swan event. Unexpected, impactful, often leaving us scrambling to make sense of what in the world just happened. So here's Mike Flynn's post on X this afternoon. This is a black swan event, he says. Black swans normally come out of the world of finance, not military. The standard operating procedures for all U.S. ports, harbors, and bays, the transit, commerce, and military activities are supposed to maintain an incredible level of discipline, rigor, and awareness for these very type of events not to occur ever. Yet here we are. There are harbor masters for every single one of these transit points in America that are in charge of assuring the safety of navigation. Start there, he says. So start there.
Okay.
Talk to the harbor masters. Don't necessarily look at the boat itself. That's maybe a red herring. Look at the harbor masters. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the electrical infrastructure. Look at the computers. Was it hacked? So look at that information, not just the boat itself, perhaps. So what do we know? Well, for one thing, we know the captain of the ship, or the ship's master, is Ukrainian. It's interesting. So here you can find that out easily by going to BalticShipping.com.
So if
You
it's
punch in the
XL,
information as we did here at Redacted. Go to the dollar. The name of the ship is the dollar. There you can see where it's currently sitting. It's now sitting there.
So you can take a
covered
tape
by
measure and
bridge
you can
right
measure
in Baltimore in
up
the
and
Chesapeake
down
Harbor
that one.
in Baltimore. And
The
there
same.
is the ship's master. He is Ukrainian. Interesting. And UK Telegram channels today posting congratulations to great work and to expect more surprises in Europe too, unless we approve more aid to Ukraine. Maybe it's a total coincidence here, these Ukrainian Telegram posts. This is a beautiful
Yeah,
work
the
all over
tomorrow
the world without
the
hesitation. If you
instrument,
don't
I
accept
got
the
the
aid
shoe.
package, then get it.
This color, okay? Yes, yes. Only I will take pictures so that I can.
Tonight, the New York Post is reporting that alleged victims of Diddy have been talking a lot. And we're hearing a lot of people in Diddy's orbit, names you know, are very worried. Derek Parker is a former member of the NYPD's Rap Intel unit, and he joins me now. You had dealings with Diddy back in the day. What was that like?
Well, I dealt with him when he had problems with assaults, and he had the shooting at Club New York back in those days. So I was probably the detective that was assigned to go out and investigate what happened at those particular locations with Steve Stout with MTV, the shooting at the New York Club.
Now, the word is he had his girlfriend at the time, J-Lo, smuggled a gun inside the club. He never caught any charges for it, but his boy went down. Now you see him at the top. I mean, billionaire, all the hits. He's mentoring everybody in the business. But there's some sinister things happening under the surface, according to this lawsuit. Did you see that coming?
Yes. When I saw the payoff for Cassie, and I saw that come out and how that was quickly taken care of, I knew things were going to come after this. I knew that there were going to be other people that were going to follow in line, or people that he had past relationships with, that were going to probably come forward and bring up allegations of his conduct and things that he's done.
When you hear about the sex trafficking, the hidden cameras in every room, the narcotics, paying off law enforcement, the affiliation with gangs, how do you interpret that?
Well, that's an allegation that someone else made on behalf. Right. The guns and the narcotics and things like that, these things happen in this business. It's out there in the hip hop world. I mean, I've come along a lot of cases where I've had rappers involved in drugs and guns and things like that. So I'm not surprised by that. But the government took a big step in waiting on this to come out and do this. They had this plan. Believe it or not, this is planned. I think even tonight, Diddy's girlfriend, Young Mommy, was caught distributing drugs, and she's been labeled as indicated in the federal report as supplying drugs. They count paying people off. So this is only the start of this investigation. You search warrant, now this comes out, now there's going to be other things that's going to come out.
Why do you think the feds waited this long? Because this has been going on, according to these complaints, for a long time. What triggered this? Did he cross someone?
Yes. What happens is that the feds have developed cooperators, people that were affected by him or had some ties with him where they had some criminal activity, and they came forward and they gave information. So the feds wanted to go in and they wanted to gather everything they could so they could present a tight case. And that's what they're doing right now.
It's going to be a tight case for here?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Derek, and thanks for all of your expertise.
You're welcome.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to
break it all down. Why did they raid the homes to begin with? Obviously, they had a lot of information and probably were planning this for quite some time.
I believe they were, Christina. I think this all started with that lawsuit that we talked about in November when Cassie sued Diddy. And at the time, you and I talked about how incredibly foolish it was for Diddy not to settle the case before the allegations became public. And he settled it the very next day, and apparently the parties were about $10 million apart. But Cassidy was with Diddy for a decade, and she knew where the bodies were buried, and she spilled it all out. And that encouraged other victims to come forward. And there was lawsuit after lawsuit alleging that Diddy and others had engaged in sex trafficking. So now it's gone from a civil lawsuit, which is about money, to a full-blown criminal investigation, and a very serious one that's based out of the Southern District of New York, probably the most prestigious prosecutor's office in the country. And federal agents executed 2 search warrants, one in Miami and one a mile away from where I live here in Los Angeles, with a lot of armed federal agents who went into the home, and they're looking for evidence of criminal activity, primarily sex trafficking, like we talked about, Christina, but other crimes as well. Gun and firearms charges, and we're talking about someone who may spend decades in federal prison, like R. Kelly, and this is why. Under federal law, if someone is convicted of even one count of sex trafficking, it carries a minimum 10 or 15-year prison sentence, minimum. The judge can't go any lower for each count, depending on the age of the victim.
So there is a potential that Diddy could spend the rest of his life in prison.
Oh, very real possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if this is another Jeffrey Epstein or an R. Kelly type case where we're talking about multiple victims across multiple jurisdictions over a significant period of time. Again, these are just allegations. Nothing's been proven yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy is arrested in the coming days or weeks, and he's going to have to.
Looking photos of Brendan Paul snapped in a South Florida jail Monday are departure from images shared on his public-facing Facebook profile of life in the sphere of a celebrity. Miami-Dade police arrested the 25-year-old at the Miami airport as he was about to board a private jet with Sean Diddy Combs. Officers were working with Homeland Security when they found cocaine and marijuana-laced candy in Paul's bag, both felonies in Florida. Diddy was not arrested, but the hip-hop mogul and some of his associates, including Paul, are named in this explosive lawsuit filed by Diddy's former producer, Rodney Jones. Jones levels accusations of sexual assault, drug abuse, sex trafficking, and other crimes. Both Jones and Paul worked on Diddy's most recent album, which Paul celebrated on social media in September. Court documents include some of those social media photos of Paul and Diddy together. The lawsuit labels Paul as a mule who acquires and distributes drugs and guns. It also says he provided cash payments to sex workers on Diddy's behalf. And one witness described seeing Paul and others spiking champagne bottles with ecstasy while on a yacht in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Jones alleges Diddy was running a sex trafficking venture, and his associates, including Paul, were aiding and abetting it. Paul graduated from Hawkins School and then briefly attended Syracuse University, where he played basketball. His bio there listed his hometown as Shaker Heights and said he was majoring in sports management. We visited the Chagrin Falls address listed as Paul's current home arrest records. No one answered the door, but someone yelled no comment through a window. We also reached out to Paul's attorney, who simply said, quote, "We do not plan on trying this case in the media. All issues will be dealt with in the court." The same day Paul was arrested, Homeland Security raided and took evidence from Diddy's Miami and Beverly Hills homes. He has denied Jones's allegations. Northeast Ohio-based Collaborative to End Human Trafficking weighed in on the situation, telling us in a statement, quote, "Every time human trafficking is in the news, it is a reminder that victims are exploited every day. It can happen to anyone, from anywhere. The connection to Northeast Ohio and these specific allegations remind us that it happens here too. What's important to focus on is that human trafficking is solvable." Right now, Paul is scheduled to appear on those criminal charges in Miami in late April. In civil court, Jones is asking for at least $30 million in damages against Diddy and all of his associates. I'm Catherine Ross reporting.
Sean, Diddy
Still my eyes red.
Can't see that then. Just a little bit. You put in yours.
In the morning.
If you need to more than once, it's twice a
Later
day.
again.
Johnny March.
The intention is to stop groups or individuals from having a platform to spread incendiary views.
We have to get to the bottom of this. A cargo ship. We have to get to the bottom of this. A cargo ship hasn't taken out a bridge in decades. And the ship, as far as we can tell, has never sustained a power failure before a bridge knocked down. We need answers. Someone has to pay.
Just days ago, a massive cargo ship completely destroyed the Baltimore Bridge in a series of very suspicious events. Moments before colliding with the bridge, power suddenly cut off, not once, but twice. Safeguards were in place to prevent this from happening, but randomly, they all failed.
The lights of the ship actually flash off, they go off, and then a few seconds later they come back on. That would indicate an electrical power failure.
Sparking debates about whether or not this could have been a cyber attack. This bold step challenges the FBI statements.
I want to be clear that there is no specific or credible information to suggest that there are ties to terrorism in this incident.
Stating firmly this wasn't an attack, begging questions amongst the United Nations about what really happened. And if the government is hiding something, this is fueled by recent affirmations by Joe Biden, blatantly lying about crossing the bridge on multiple occasions by train.
Francis Scott to Keith Bridge, many times commuting from the city of Delaware by train or by car.
Strictly colliding with the fact that there has never been train tracks on the bridge. Keep watching as we delve deeper into this very disturbing and suspicious incident. What happened?
The bridge that protects us from the water is in the water. A cargo vessel stuck, speared on the pylon and crashed into at 1:30 in the morning early Tuesday.
In the early hours of a fateful Tuesday morning, a colossal cargo vessel became a catastrophic agent of destruction on the Patapsco River near Baltimore. The drama unfolded just after 1:30 a.m. when the ship, almost 1,000 feet in length, collided with a pylon of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The immediate aftermath was nothing short of devastation. A significant portion of the bridge collapsed and crumbled into the river below.
Yo! What the? What? No shot! No shot!
Onlookers, some of whom were jerked from sleep by the colossal noise, compared the sound to an earthquake followed by what one described as rolling thunder, the eerie soundtrack of the bridge's collapse.
Jesus Campos, who has worked on the bridge and knows members of the crew who died, said that he was told they were on a break and some were sitting in their trucks parked on the bridge to warm up when it did collapse.
How did this happen? Who's behind it? And why so many things in this story just don't add up? As a Russian, I have many questions and I want them to be raised in this video. Let's talk about the worst terror attack in Moscow in years. My name is Tanya. Welcome to my channel, Influence of Russia, where I share my honest and objective opinion about Russia without any filters. Before we start, there's a disclaimer. I'm still in Russia, so there are many things I'd like to say, I want to say, but you know, now saying that you don't support the war is already considered as an extremist, and it's quite interesting. Yeah, with what was happening in the last years, who was the target of FSB. So I believe that once you understand what I'm saying, we'll understand it. Haters will follow obviously. But let's start with the first question. How did the attackers manage to enter the Crocus concert hall so easily? With weapons, with explosives? Why there were no like security guards? Why no one stopped them? Interestingly, that one of the producers has already published a post claiming that this concert hall has one of the most expensive securities. She was a producer of Dima Bilan, maybe you know him thanks to Eurovision, so she said that she was able to organize many concerts, and every time she signed an extra contract. Interestingly, that this woman, she actually supports Putin and Steve, and she still asks the same question as I have. Like, where are all these people? Interestingly, that the person who was really saving people was just a schoolboy. Like, really, why a schoolboy? And I want to say his name, Islam. You're an absolutely great man. Why? He was saving dozens of people. As I know, it's at least 100 people he was able to save alone. And not the police, not, again, security guards or anyone. The next question is, why did it take so much time for the police to arrive? It's 30 minutes. How much will it take in your country? Let me know. And if you have answers to any of these questions, if you have thoughts, also let's talk about it. Let's discuss. So obviously, people call the families, and we know about it from the survivors. So people knew about what was happening, and then suddenly the police was stopped in the traffic. My next question will be why later on the terrorists were not stopped in the traffic. That's like that's also an interesting question. How many people would be saved if they arrived earlier? Why Russian TV channels were reporting, recovering the fire, like we still had these entertainment TV channels, while already like international TV channels had breaking news. Why? Everyone in Russia, like who uses Telegram, was already able to learn about this horrible terrorist attack. One of the biggest questions in this story, how FSB, Federal Secret Service, was able to miss it. This is not only a very, very powerful organization. According to the information I was able to find on Investopedia, in 2023, $20 billion were spent on FSB. Not a secret that this is a powerful organization in Russia that follows everyone who's able to ask questions like me and who is there to criticize corruption in Russia and yet they're just so brave. There is certainly a lot of money that is spent not only on FSB but the police and all of this organization because we know even from the official information that this is a huge focus for Putin or the president of Russia. Moreover, we also know that the American Secret Service, the British Secret Service warned its citizens, the Embassy of the United States warned America, the Embassy of the United States in Moscow warned its citizens about upcoming attacks. They warned 2 weeks ago, so apparently the attackers learned about it and they decided to postpone. But why there was no reaction? Well, actually, the worst, what we know is that the president of Russia, just a few days before the attack, was saying, "Oh, they're just trying to destabilize the situation in Russia. It's just a provocation." And my question is, why these so-called enemies of these countries are considered as enemies in Russia? They warn Russian people about the attack, and the government didn't only warn, but had the information and didn't take extra measures. Look what was happening at Navalny's funeral. These were like seriously dangerous people with flowers. That is, it's a dangerous weapon, a flower. But honestly, I still hope this is over, that we can win the world with peace and kindness, because violence just creates more violence, and it's horrible that we can still have it. But why? Like you have so much police, and then here, no extra measures. You know that it might happen in public events, big events. Why? Why did it take so much time for the president of Russia to make his speech? I mean, by the time I was already able to do a live stream to record several videos about the attack, well, apparently he had more important things to do. I wonder what is more important than one of the worst terror attacks in Russian history, the worst in years. Well, apparently he had a call with Lukashenko, the president of Belarus. Yeah, he shared his thoughts with Lukashenko. If you don't know, Lukashenko is in power longer than Putin, surprisingly, yeah? And what do we know from the speech? What is the official opinion of Russian journalists, Ukrainians? Did you expect it? Write me in the comments if you expected Russians to claim that it must be Ukraine. And if you go to my shorts, you'll also see many comments about Ukraine. Yeah, sounds like obvious, but it's not. For me, it's absolutely obvious that these are not Ukrainians, and let me tell you why. First, if these are Ukrainians, why don't they just say it? No, they don't do it. They deny. When something happens, the terrorists have claims like this is obvious. Why? No, they don't say it. Second, by doing that, it's pretty obvious that they will lose the support, the international support. And why would they do it? Just asking the war world. Like, ask yourself, what did they lose and what did they gain from this attack? What would they gain? Like, seriously. Not as much as they would lose. Thirdly, they look already have ISIS admitting it. And interestingly, that you don't have any talks from Russian so-called media, state media, that it's ISIS, it's still about Ukraine, or we found them near the border of Ukraine. So here is my next question: how the attackers were able to reach the border with Ukraine? How? Like, if it's Friday evening, there was a traffic, and everyone already knows about the attack. We know the car. Like, everybody knew the car. You can see it with the cameras. So they don't change the car. Very smart decision. Thanks. So it would be easier to find at first. And then they just go straight towards Ukraine. No one stops them. Would they stop cars? Like, seriously. And yeah, and then they were able to go for so long, 6 at least 5 hours. We have this man who apparently the attackers reportedly. I would just say that we still don't have questions. We still don't have the faces of those who were in the concert hall. So, do we know for the fact that these were the attackers? What do you think? Do you really believe? Do we have the proof that these were these people? Because I have some questions about the videos that we have. So, do the man on the video resemble the attackers? This is a question. What did we hear with one of the men? So, he's very religious. So he just was in a Telegram group. So he was listening to prayers, with praying, and then he was offered 500,000 rubles, something like that, which is about over $5,000. This is only the sum. Is it the sum that people kill for? Let me know. I don't know the market, but to me, it just seems absurd. Like, this is just the average salary in some other countries. Okay, so the biggest question is, they claim that they just prepared it for 1 month. They were not professionals or anything. So how they were able to find weapons themselves? How they were able to shoot people without any training or anything? And what I like as well? They are saying that they were offered rubles. Rubles? If if they're foreign citizens, yeah, that's what we know, they're from Tajikistan. So why they're not offered like in Tajik money, whatever it is, in US dollars, or Ukrainian money, if it's Ukrainian Russian dollars? That is the question. The other question I have is, who's in the
Assalamualaikum, Baba.
will be held accountable?
I will go back in now, okay?
What would be your question? Let me know. After this tragic event, will these people, whose direct job is to stop terrorism, who are paying so much money for this organization, would it be or not? In my opinion, and this is my opinion, like, I think that this is, so, no matter what happens, no matter who's behind it, there must be some really, really big questions to it. Because and all of these organizations, all of these state organizations, everyone who was warned, who's responsible for the protection of the people, in Moscow and didn't do anything. Even these are Ukrainians that now everyone's claiming. How they were able to come, how they were able to organize it. So it means that you missed it. You missed it even further. Now you have all the technologies. You're able to control all the social media, all the chats, everything. They keep blocking all of the accounts of the opposition leaders and everything. We have so many foreign agents. We didn't have so many anti-terrorist cases in history. There are so many terrorists just because they don't support the war or they just very post about it. So how you're able to find all of them and not that? So who is behind it and more importantly who benefits from it? Because normally when you have terrorist attacks, there would be like some claims there would be a reason behind it. What was the reason behind it? If it's ISIS, as they claim, which was really surprising for me in the beginning. And secondly, on the surface, you have like good relations with all these Muslim countries. You have a huge Muslim community in Russia. So that is, I think, that could be possible because we see that ISIS certain benefits from it as they remind of as they remind of themselves to the world. This is a terroristic organization. It's there's no doubt about that. And what I was seeing in the videos, and I'm not going to share them with you. You can watch my shorts. It reminded me of the attack in Paris. What was happening in Moscow is unfortunately similar to some of the previous attacks. I still have a question like how they were able to organize it, to get the money, like and everything, recruiting people without being noticed. Were they alone? Was someone else there? And who's also going to benefit from it? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Watch this video till the end. And you already know my position, my thoughts. As I'm still in Russia, I'm not able to say everything I have in mind, but it was important for me to raise questions as these are my video question ones. And I also want to show that not everyone in Russia, is brainwashed. Not all these Russians are idiots, as I have written in the comments on my videos. And by the way, there's another question. Like, what do you think about these people who have no sympathy for the victims? They basically write, so who cares about these Russians because of, what happened to Ukrainians wars. They're not, I wouldn't say that they are the majority, but I've seen many videos about this tragedy, about this attack. You can find this kind of comments pretty much everywhere, even under my post, under my video. I think it's really sad to live in a world where people care about your nationality. People don't know. People don't know for the fact whether these victims supported war, supported the regime or not. People keep writing me horrible questions, even though I keep saying like I'm a pacifist. I don't support wars. I don't support any wars. No matter what I do, no matter what people keep writing me. In my opinion, this will not lead to something good, I think we should be human. And if these are innocent people, these are innocent people. And my condolences to everyone who became a victim of this attack or any other attack. This must be stopped, and we should, what we can do, we should prevent any types of aggression and discrimination. What do you think we can do? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to support my channel, if you want me to do more
The intention is to stop groups.
The world's first black-led Republic, Haiti, has become a home for notorious gangsters.
I'm not a gangster. I never will be a gangster. It's the system I'm fighting against today. The system has a lot of money.
Since the start of 2022, attacks and violence by armed gangs across the country have skyrocketed. In fact, in the first 4 months of 2023, there were more civilians killed in Haiti.
Sean Diddy Combs' empire is on fragile ground. Feds raiding 2 of his homes just this week in connection with a sex trafficking that
Hello, and nice to see you again. These days, unmanned aerial vehicles are used in various spheres of life, and yet their most popular field is aerial photography, which allows us to take excellent photos and views from a bird's eye view. Drones can capture it's a symbiosis of living spaces and greenery. It consists of 2 buildings with a height of 80 and 112 meters and has a total of 5,000 bushes and 11,000 outdoor plants. The Shanghai Tower is a building that embodies the endless possibilities of the latest technologies in construction. It is the tallest building in Asia and one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world. Inside, there are observatories, conference rooms, a hotel, a museum, shops, restaurants, gardens, and a shopping center. Surfing in San Diego, you can not only catch one of the best waves in the world, but also see graceful and agile dolphins in the immediate vicinity. Producers from the film industry should be interested in this place, Just add a bit of special effects, and it could be a great location for a thriller or horror movie. There are about 3,500 waterfalls on the globe. The most recognizable of them is undoubtedly Niagara. Drones equipped with thermal cameras have become an important tool for the search and identification of archaeological sites. They often make it possible to determine the location of future excavations. Resting quietly in a field. Obviously, the animal did not really like such a company, so the sheep decided to attack the uninvited guest. The state of Utah is famous for its extraordinary landscapes and places that closely resemble the surface of Mars. The hills here are striking in shades of colors, which were formed due to volcanic ash and the peculiarities of the local soil. And they also choose larger victims. Please. It is easy to say that this ship sails on thin ice like a knife through butter. Being in the mountains during an avalanche is very scary, but watching this phenomenon from afar or from a bird's eye view is a real pleasure. The female humpback whale wanted to share her happiness with others, so it shared its newborn baby to tourists. This video was shot in order to capture an important competition. However, instead of watching the athletes, the eye falls on their shadows every now and then. Tough rock, majestically towering over green valleys and deep gorges, will not seem to everyone a perfect place to live, but for travelers, Catalan sports entertainment is very popular. It's all about towers made of people. Would you dare participate in such a thing? Those who are able to conquer such a wave are truly professionals with incredible fortitude. Such an interesting burial in hanging coffins was found in China. This method of burial was very expensive, and only the richest people of that time could afford it, but it allowed them to protect the dead bodies from wild animals. No wall can save you from such big waves. Three tornadoes not far from each other is an intimidating sight.
Welcome back to Third Class News with Millie Action, where we look ahead to the events going on around the world in the upcoming week. Thank you so much if you're joining us. It's a busy one this week, so we better get straight into it, starting with Monday the 25th of March 2024. And our first event I've got this week action. This particular one, it is actually unclear whether it's happening on Monday, but it will certainly be happening at some point this week. The Israel
Plowing and ready to plant in Al Nasiriyah. But this
Grave diggers buried charred bodies allegedly belonging to gang members in Haiti after clashes between the national police and armed groups left a prominent gang leader dead. Authorities were seen recovering the charred bodies from the street in Port-au-Prince on Friday. The remains were said to be members of the Delmas 95 gang led by Ernst Julme, also known as T. Greg. It was not clear if one of the charred bodies was Julme, who died in the shootout with police. The death of Julme, who's associated with crime boss Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier's alliance, marks a setback for the gangs in their effort to take over more of the city. Julme had recently escaped from Haiti's largest prison in a mass jailbreak. Haiti has been gripped by violence since rival gangs unleashed a wave of attacks this month. Thousands have been killed and hundreds of thousands displaced. International organizations
Yes,
like
Anna.
the World Food Program said almost half of Haiti's people are struggling to feed themselves, with the country now suffering its worst level of food insecurity on record. Regional leaders are trying to form a transitional council that will be tasked with appointing a replacement for Prime Minister Ariel Henry, who announced his resignation on March 11th. He is currently stranded abroad as gang violence prevented his return to the country.
Coffee time.
Huh?
Coffee time.
Sorry?
Coffee time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the only girl among these 8 other boys.
I am.
You must have had a few fights when you were a kid.
Men only listen to half of what you say. So I want every time there.
I didn't hear half of that.
Are the rumors revealed by the daughter of Marie Osmond true? Today, we are revealing the shocking truth as her daughter finally confirms the rumors. From her early days in the spotlight to the recent revelations about her bold decisions regarding her wealth, the life of the incredibly talented and resilient Marie Osmond is nothing short of inspiring. Before we take a look at the revelations that were made, let's take a look at how Marie's upbringing and personal struggles influenced her views on wealth and family. Her early life. Life was a bit different for a young girl named Marie Osmond. Born in 1959 in a bustling household in Utah, Marie was the only girl among 8 brothers. Now, for most kids, childhood is all about playdates and homework. But Marie's story takes a different turn. Imagine being so young and stepping into the big, dazzling world of showbiz. A world where Marie found herself even before she was old enough to go to school. The Osmonds were more than just a family. They were a musical sensation, deeply rooted in their Mormon faith. Marie's brothers, Alan, Wayne, Merrill, and Jay, started out singing together, and before long, Donnie and Jimmy joined in, turning their performances into a full-blown family affair. Marie shared in her book, Might As Well Laugh About It Now, how her parents poured everything they had into making sure she and her brothers got the finest training, from top-notch teachers to skilled choreographers. And get this, each sibling had to pick up an instrument, learn it, and then pass on that knowledge. Marie's choice, the marimba. Now imagine being just 3 years old and making your television debut. That's exactly what Marie did, appearing on The Andy Williams Show with her brothers. But this early start meant sacrificing a lot of those precious childhood moments. She once told Larry King, "You know, when I asked if I could go out and play, the answer was no. I had work to do, recording sessions to attend." Despite these sacrifices, Marie doesn't look back with regret, but she admits the journey was filled with pressure and made her grow up quickly. In her revealing book, Behind the Smile, Marie opens up about feeling more like a commodity than a child at times. One of the most disturbing stories from her childhood took her all the way to Japan for a commercial shoot at age 11. A week-long adventure at sea turned into a nightmare when their boat capsized, throwing her into shark-infested waters. After a miraculous rescue, instead of rest or comfort, she was sent right back to work in front of the cameras, battling severe dehydration and sunburn so bad she was covered in blisters. And the recording studio wasn't any kinder to her. Her ideas and feelings? Well, they seemed to matter least, making her feel like her voice outside of singing was lost in the crowd. Body image issues led to her eating disorder. Now let's turn the page to a new chapter in Marie Osmond's life, one that many dream about but few get to experience. In 1976, At the young age of 15, Marie stepped into a dazzling new role as the co-host of her very own show, Donnie and Marie Variety Show. It was like a dream come true, but it came with the pressure to look a certain way. In her heartfelt memoir, Might As Well Laugh About It Now, she shares a candid glimpse into her world. Imagine being a teenager and finding yourself next to the actresses, singers, and models who she saw as having it all, especially the 17-year-old Cher. When Marie and her brother appeared on the Sonny and Cher show, it was a moment of awe, but also a tough hit to her self-esteem. The guest list of their show included names like Jacqueline Smith, Cheryl Ladd, and Farrah Fawcett, fresh off her iconic red bathing suit poster fame. For Marie, sharing the stage with these women, including the stunning Raquel Welch, was a challenge to her self-image. She humorously yet poignantly describes feeling like a poser playing dress-up, a sentiment many of us can relate to when comparing ourselves to
de Provence. He was one of 9 children born to Renière de Saint-Remy and her husband Joan de Nos.
Okay. 20 minutes pa ate. Ito sabog. Depende do Charles, no? Pero Luis. Still time? Still time? Still time there. Okay, I want to bath.
freak-offs have been all over Diddy's business lately, and in their recent investigations, it looks like Jay-Z is allegedly one of Diddy's partners in crime when it comes to engaging in wild freak-offs. Now, the cop allegedly said Jay-Z in custody, and things aren't looking good for him. Keep watching till the end of this video to see just now Jay-Z arrested in connection to Diddy's freak-offs. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Before we get into the video, I want to give a big shout out to the #1 celebrity jeweler, the Ice Champ. The Ice Champ is doing a special deal for the next 24 hours on diamond watches, chains, and more. Follow @the Ice Champ on Instagram now.
Jay-Z confesses to freak-offs with Diddy. Queen Beyonce has always consistently excelled in her professional career, yet her personal life faced upheaval when challenges arose in her marriage. The union of Jay-Z and Beyonce drew considerable scrutiny amid rumors of infidelity. Jay-Z has been heard admitting in an interview that he had been unfaithful to Beyonce and attributed it to his childhood issues. The couple had seemed flawless, but the strains in their marriage became evident in 2014, coinciding with the speculation about cheating. Beyonce's impactful album Lemonade seemed to substantiate the rumors of unfaithfulness, prompting Jay-Z to finally address the veracity of the reports. During an interview with the New York Times Styles magazine, Jay-Z disclosed that his upbringing had prompted him to erect emotional barriers, causing him to shut down and engage in infidelity. Pouring out his feelings, he expressed, "The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you have caused, and then have to deal with it yourself. You have to survive, so you go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what happens? You shut down all emotions." He further added, "So even with women, you've got to shut down emotionally, so you can't connect. In my case, like, it's deep, and then all the things happen there, infidelity." Jay-Z went on to further explain that the incident of his cheating happened when he was out partying with Diddy on one of his nights out. He claimed that he and Diddy have been friends, and throughout their friendship, they have had several parties where girls were brought in, and they ended up doing a lot of freaky stuff. In a video streamed on his Tidal platform, Jay-Z openly discussed his relationship challenges with Beyonce. The short documentary was released in conjunction with his album 444. Within the documentary, Jay-Z, who tied the knot with Beyonce in 2008, acknowledged that confronting potential issues in his relationship and striving to resolve them has been one of the most challenging things he has ever faced. Titled footnotes for 444 of the documentary includes discussions about relationships with women and interviews with celebrities such as Chris Rock, Will Smith, Kendrick Lamar, Chris Paul, Jesse Williams, Aziz Ansari, Mahershala Ali, and Meek Mill. "This is my real life," he says. "I just ran into this place and we built this big, beautiful mansion of a relationship that wasn't totally built on the 100% truth, and it starts cracking." He continued, "Then we had to get to a point of, okay, tear this down and let's start from the beginning. It's the hardest thing I've ever..."
أمنيتي لصديقتي في هذا العام الجديد، أسأل الله أن يحفظ صديقتي من كل شر ويمتعها بالصحة والسلامة والسعادة أينما حلت خطاها.
We need to delve into his thirst for knowledge and his concerns about potential conflicts with the church. Nostradamus was born Michel de Nostradam on December 14th or 21, 1503, in the south of France in Saint-Remy de Provence. He was one of 9 children born to Rainière de Saint-Remy and her husband Jean de Nostradam, a well-to-do grain dealer and part-time notary of Jewish descent. Nostradam's grandfather, Guy Gassonnet, had converted to Catholicism a half-century earlier and changed the family name to Nostradam to avoid persecution during the Inquisition. Little is known of his childhood, but evidence indicates he was very intelligent as he quickly advanced through school. Early in his life, he was tutored by his maternal grandfather, Jean de Saint-Remy, who saw great intellect and potential in his grandson. Young Nostradam was taught the rudiments of Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and mathematics during this time. His exposure to astrology and Jewish traditions from his grandfather laid the foundation for his later prophetic work. But do you think his early life laid a foundation for his prophetic declarations? At 14, Nostradam entered the University of Avignon to study medicine. However, he was forced to leave after only 1 year due to an outbreak of the bubonic plague. According to his account, he traveled throughout the countryside, researching herbal remedies and working as an apothecary.
Nostradamus lived in the 1500s, a time of plagues and disease when the occult and astrology were part of everyday life. For years, he worked as a plague doctor and earned a bit of celebrity status for providing herbal remedies that seemed to at least help some of the affected.
In 1522, he entered the University of Montpellier to complete his doctorate in medicine. He sometimes expressed dissension with the teachings of the Catholic priests, who dismissed his notions of astrology. There are some reports that university officials discovered his previous experience as an apothecary and used this as a reason to expel him from school. The school took a dim view of anyone involved in what was considered a manual trade. However, most accounts state he was not expelled and received a medical license in 1525. At this time, he Latinized his name, as was the custom of many medieval academics, from Nostradam to Nostradamus. Over the next several years, Nostradamus traveled throughout France and Italy, treating victims of the plague. There was no known remedy at the time. Most doctors relied on potions made of mercury and the practice of bloodletting and dressing patients in garlic-soaked robes. Nostradamus developed some very progressive methods for dealing with the plague. He didn't bleed his patients, instead practicing effective hygiene and encouraging the removal of the infected corpses from city streets. He became known for creating a rose pill, an herbal lozenge made of rose hips, rich in vitamin C, that provided some relief for patients with mild plague cases. His cure rate was impressive, though much can be attributed to keeping his patients clean, administering low-fat diets, and providing plenty of fresh air. In time, Nostradamus found himself somewhat of a local celebrity for his treatments and received financial support from many of the citizens of Provence. In 1531, he was invited to work with a leading scholar of the time, Jules César Scaliger, in Agen, in southwestern France.
He predicted
there,
many
he
things
married and in the next
in the
few
future
years,
up to
had
today
2 children.
and more.
In
And all
1524,
correct.
his wife and children died,
It's like
presumably of the
a
plague,
prophet once.
while he was traveling on a medical mission to Italy. Not being able to save his wife and children caused him to fall out of favor in the community and with his patron, Scaliger. As Nostradamus tirelessly worked to combat the plague, little did he know that his experiences would shape his future as a renowned seer, guiding him toward writing enigmatic prophecies that would captivate the world. So what hidden knowledge did
This
he
one
acquire
you're going
during
to
his
use
medical
it again
endeavors that would
later?
weave into his mystical
I can wear it
predictions?
one more time.
Keep watching to find out. So how did the prophecies of
Here?
Nostradamus?
Yes.
Nostradamus's predictions tended to be about all types of events, like natural disasters and conflict-related events that tend to occur regularly as time goes on. Some people believe that his prophecy have predicted actual events, such as the death of Henry II, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks. By 1554, Nostradamus's visions had become an integral part of his works in the almanacs, and he decided to channel all his energies into a massive opus he initially titled Centuries. He planned to write 10 volumes containing 100 predictions forecasting the next 2,000 years. In 1555, he released his most famous work, Les Prophéties. The Les Prophéties prophecies were written cryptically and vaguely, challenging the interpretation and identification of specific events. Nostradamus's predictions focused on general events that commonly occur over time, such as natural disasters and conflicts. Some believe that his prophecies have accurately foretold significant historical events, including the death of Henry II, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks. However, there is a divided opinion on the accuracy and significance of Nostradamus' predictions. Skeptics argue that the vague and ambiguous nature of the prophecies allows for retroactive interpretation, where one can seemingly match any event to a prophecy. They suggest that people may unintentionally find connections due to Nostradamus' writings' wide range of general events. Nevertheless, the uniqueness of Nostradamus' predictions lies in their engraved popularity in historical records and popular culture. Despite the controversy surrounding their accuracy, they continue to intrigue and captivate the public. Nostradamus' ambitions extended beyond Les Prophéties. In 1554, he planned to write a grand opus titled Centuries, consisting of 10 volumes containing 100 predictions forecasting the next 2,000 years. However, only the first volume was completed and published during his lifetime. It is unclear why Nostradamus could not complete the remaining volumes of the Centuries. Some suggest that his busy life as a physician, dealing with various social and political challenges, may have hindered his progress.
As hues of blue break the dark of the night, silence gives way to the sounds of dawn. As the city sleeps in anticipation of a new day, a hero quietly makes their way for a day of devotion and selflessness. As the morning light invigorates life in our world, the days move forward, and they continue on, looking only to serve.
Let's take a big picture
There are
of
those
what's
that
going on
rise,
here. Over the next
and then
decade,
there are
2
those
decades,
that
it is
rise for us,
expected that there will be
so
$150
that the rest of
billion
us have
worth
a
of
blessed
oil and
Ramadan.
gas extracted
A
off your
heartfelt
coast.
Ramadan Kareem
It's an
from
extraordinary
Mashreq.
figure. But think of it in practical terms. That means, according to many experts, more than 2 billion tons of carbon
Additionally,
emissions.
Nostradamus faced criticism from religious authorities who deemed his prophecies occult and believed he was operating outside of acceptable norms. Despite the unfinished state of the Centuries, the first volume of Les Prophéties achieved significant recognition and popularity, catapulting Nostradamus to fame during his lifetime. His prophecies captivated many people and attempted to interpret their meanings and connections to historical events. The significance of Nostradamus' unfinished opus lies in his continued fascination with his prophecies and their influence on popular culture. Even though the complete vision of the Centuries remains unrealized, the impact of Nostradamus' work has endured throughout the centuries. His prophecies have been interpreted and reinterpreted by numerous individuals, scholars, and enthusiasts, attempting to unlock the secrets within his verses and connect them to contemporary events. Now that we have shown you how the predictions of Nostradamus started, let us take a look at some of the predictions that have come to pass so far. One such prophecy is believed by some to be about the Great Fire of London in 1666. Nostradamus wrote in Century 2, Quatrain 51, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by the fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place, and many of the same sect will be killed." Interpreters suggest that the blood of the just refers to the many deaths caused by the fire. London burnt by fire in the year 66 inches is seen as a reference to the Great Fire of London that occurred in 1666. The ancient lady is interpreted as the City of London, often symbolized by a woman, and many of the same sect will be killed, is thought to refer to the religious strife that followed the fire. It's important to note that interpretations of Nostradamus' writings are highly subjective, and many scholars and skeptics argue that his quatrains are often vague and can be applied to various events after they occur rather than predicting them. Therefore, while intriguing, the connection between this prophecy and the Great Fire of London should be viewed skeptically. But we cannot deny the obvious connection between Nostradamus' prediction and the actual occurrence of the Great Fire. But that's not all. When we thought it couldn't be more terrifying, Nostradamus predicted what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Within 2 cities, Nostradamus wrote, there will be scourges, the like of which was never seen. That description would certainly apply to what occurred in the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which were devastated by atomic bombs at the end of World War II. Those who escaped immediate detonation suffered painful radiation poisoning, and many died. A stone in the tree in Nostradamus's quatrain could describe the shape of the mushroom cloud that engulfed the sky above the city. It could also mean a land-bound object, like a stone and a bomb, paradoxically appearing where it shouldn't, a tree or the sky. The quatrain paints an increasingly bleak picture, foretelling famine within plague, potentially a reference to radiation sickness and the lasting disruption of war, and people put out by steel, which may point to the planes that dropped the bombs. Of course, this may be Nostradamus talking about a literal plague affecting any potential cities, given that the man himself had first-hand experience treating plague patients. But again, it depends on how much you want to believe. So what are predictions for this year according to Nostradamus? Buckle up, because we're about to get into what will happen this year, so you might want to stick back and pay close attention.
This sock is around only having small hole.
We are
It's easy to stitch it
that
because
some
it's
of
not come too
Nostradamus'
much.
predictions for this year will come to pass.
So
The
ask
first
Anna to check
prophecy
the
for this
socks
year
before she
is
puts them in
the
the
dry
cupboard.
earth will grow more parched,
If they
and
are
there will be
clean,
great floods for
change
this
them.
season.
This
The
one.
astrologer warned that climatic changes will continue to wreak havoc on us. The mention of the earth growing more parched could refer to the increasing
It's too
aridity
tight.
in many regions due to rising
This?
temperatures
No.
and changing weather patterns. Likewise, the prediction of
Check.
great floods could be seen as a reference to extreme weather events, including
I think
hurricanes,
it's too tight.
typhoons, and heavy rainfall that are becoming more
This one,
frequent
less.
and severe due to global warming. These events can lead to devastating flooding, displacing communities, and causing widespread damage. In today's world, where the effects of climate change are becoming increasingly evident, this prophecy could be interpreted as a warning about the urgent need to address environmental issues and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to mitigate the impact of climate change. The prophecy continues with Nostradamus stating, no abbots,
No, I mean,
monks, no novices,
it's only it's not too
honey
much
costs far
hole.
more than candles.
So if it can be
So high the
stitched,
price
I
of
can
wheat,
still wear them
that
for
man
some
is
time.
stirred, his fellow man to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah, but
In
if
his
it comes big,
despair,
then it's too
there will
late.
be a significant decline in the finances of the prosperous countries. Social unrest will tear apart the country. People would resort to farming and migrate to other regions with more water. It's better to be prepared than to cry at that time. Conflicts will arise between states as they fight over water, but that is just one of the many prophecies for this year. Another prophecy by Nostradamus states, this year, the health of Vladimir Putin will be under threat. This Russian leader will suffer
year.
health issues and it will be a turbulent year for him. According to Nostradamus this year, Putin will face significant health challenges, leading to a turbulent time for him. However, it is important to note that Nostradamus's prophecies are often cryptic and open to interpretation, lacking specific details regarding the exact nature, timing, or
How could
severity
he
of
have
the health
predicted
issues
these
Putin
things
may
since the
face.
15th
The
century? I
prediction
think?
also mentions
Yeah.
a diabolical successor, born under the same Chinese zodiac sign. Someone close to Putin would exploit this situation. He will try to seize power from the hands of Putin nationally and internationally. It will be effective. The person who will do such an act will be a close confidant of Putin.
Oh.
The change in leadership will lead to a destabilizing environment. Another disturbing prophecy by Nostradamus for this year is the change in the world economy. He says, as wealth and power begin to sway, doubt in leaders, currencies assay in search of answers, a changing trend, new horizons back in around the bend. The prophecy suggests a significant change in the world economy, with a shift in wealth and power, leading to uncertainty in leadership and currencies seeking stability and direction. According to
Bad news.
Nostradamus, India will emerge as a key player in reshaping the global geopolitical and financial landscape in 2024. This prophecy aligns with India's growing economic influence and potential on the world stage. With its large and diverse economy, rapidly growing population, and increasing strategic importance, India has the potential to become a major player in shaping global economic trends and policies. Several factors contribute to India's potential to reshape the global landscape 2024. The country's demographic dividend, with a young and dynamic population, presents a significant economic growth and innovation opportunity. India's ongoing economic reforms, infrastructure development, and emphasis on digital technologies also position it as a key player in the global economy. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, we still have the most intriguing prediction of Nostradamus, which is the existence of extraterrestrial civilization. In his quatrains and writings, Nostradamus alludes to possible contact with beings from other planets or dimensions. Some interpreters believe his references to beings from the sky and strange crafts could indicate encounters with extraterrestrial life forms. These interpretations have sparked speculation and debate among those who study Nostradamus' works and the phenomenon of extraterrestrial life. One of the most cited passages that is often associated with the idea of extraterrestrial civilization in Nostradamus' prophecies is Century 2, Quatrain 30, which reads, "When the great pontiff changes his abode, and the entire world is in commotion, far away from Rome, people of all ranks will be against him." While this quatrain does not explicitly mention extraterrestrial life, some believers in Nostradamus' prophecies interpret the references to a great pontiff and people being far away from Rome as symbolic descriptions of an otherworldly encounter or cosmic event. Before we dive deeper, let's rewind to address some important quotes by Nostradamus that relate to the prophecies to pass in 2024. Two significant quotes, one relating to a naval year and another about the King of the Isles, have sparked considerable interest and speculation. Nostradamus predicted a naval year in 2024, describing red adversaries growing pale with fear and instilling dread in the great ocean. This quote has generated speculation that it may point towards an impending conflict, specifically an attack on Taiwan by China. The association with red adversaries aligns with China's flag being red. Considering the rising tensions in the region, this prediction raises concerns regarding potential military confrontations and their impact on global stability. He also predicted that the King of the Isles would not remain in power for too long. And says, "A new king shall be anointed who for a long time will appease the earth." Many interpret the King of the Isles as referencing King Charles III. Consequently, there is anticipation that Charles will face personal attacks due to his relationship with Camilla, stemming from the controversy surrounding Princess Diana. The quote implies that Charles may ascend to the throne, but might face challenges and a potentially short reign. The mention of a new king fostering global peace raises questions about the actions and leadership of future monarchs. Nostradamus' prediction of the Queen's death reflects his prophecy's accuracy and potential importance. It raises curiosity about the precision and validity of his other predictions, including those related to global events and personalities. Moving beyond geopolitical and royal matters, the note touches upon Pope Francis, the current religious head of the Catholics. Nostradamus' prophecy hints at the possibility of his replacement by someone else. However, no specific details are provided to discern this potential succession's timing, circumstances, or implications. Nevertheless, the mention of Pope Francis adds another layer of intrigue and invites further exploration into the future of religious leadership within the Catholic Church. Nostradamus then says, "Through the death of a very old pontiff, a Roman of good age will be elected of him. It will be said that he weakens his see, but long will he sit in biting activity. A younger pope would take the possession, and there could be a potential reduction in power. We might enter into a period of decline of the Catholic Church's power." This has piqued a lot of curiosity, because it reminds us of St. Malachi's prophecy of the last pope. Despite facing criticism for his predictions, Nostradamus remained steadfast in his beliefs. He continued pursuing what he thought was right, leaving behind a legacy that has intrigued scholars and enthusiasts for centuries. In 1566, he passed away, but his cryptic verses remain, challenging readers to decipher their meaning and uncover the secrets of the future. Interpreting Nostradamus' writings presents numerous challenges. His verses are open to a wide range of interpretations, leading to debates among scholars and believers. While many view him as a visionary, others dismiss his predictions as mere products of imagination. The question of belief in Nostradamus' predictions remains a personal one. Some believe wholeheartedly in his prophecies, seeing them as glimpses into the future. Others remain skeptical, attributing the similarities between his predictions and historical events to coincidence. Ultimately, the truth of Nostradamus' predictions can only be revealed with time. Whether his prophecies will pass this year or in the future is uncertain. However, by examining past events and comparing them to his predictions, we may better understand the man and his work. Nostradamus' prophecies challenge us to decipher the hidden meanings in his verses to capture a glimpse of the future. Through his words, he has intertwined the deaths of notable figures and the looming threat of natural and man-made disasters. These prophecies have fascinated and startled people throughout history, igniting passionate discussions and evoking a mix of hope and fear. Understanding the true essence of Nostradamus' mystical insights allows us to glimpse what lies ahead, serving as a guiding light through the complexities of life. Nostradamus' predictions persistently resonate as we move through time, reminding us of the mystery that connects the past, present, and enigmatic future. The recent earthquake in Ishikawa, Japan, stands as a testament to the prophetic vision of this extraordinary French astrologer. However, there is an air of anticipation that extends beyond this revelation. Prepare yourself, for the secrets that await us in the coming months could be earth-shattering, resounding deeply within the collective consciousness of our beloved planet. Stay curious and open-minded, for the uncovered knowledge may reshape our understanding of time, destiny, and the very fabric of our existence. Thank you for watching. We will see you in our next video.
Happened to the Pope. Who could want him dead? The answers would become inextricably linked to the tragedy that struck my family 2 years later. June 22nd, 1983 was a very hot day. Emanuela, then 15, wanted me to take her to the music school. But my girlfriend had already asked me to drive her to the university and complained that I usually favored my little sister. I decided that this time I would leave Emanuela and go to her lessons alone. She became angry and we argued. I refused to change my mind and she stormed out. Alone. Later that afternoon, Emanuela called home and spoke with our sister Frederica. She said that on her way to the music school, a man had stopped her to offer a great job distributing promotional materials for Avon.
La cosa che mi ha lasciato molto perplessa innanzitutto il compenso era su 350.000 euro, importante per una giornata di lavoro, specialmente insomma una ragazzina così giovane.
Emanuela left school and walked along Corso Rinascimento to the bus stop in front of the Senate building. One of the last people to see her was her classmate, Maria Grazia Cassini.
Quel pomeriggio Manuela si rivolse a me e mi chiese a che ora finisse la lezione di canto corale perché lei aveva un impegno. Stabilito ciò, praticamente lei scappò via.
Non ti disse che
Finita la No, assolutamente. Guardava l'orologio e diceva che doveva andare via perché aveva un appuntamento. Infatti io la rincontrai alla fermata dell'autobus. Arrivato l'autobus, sono salita con i miei compagni di scuola e me ne sono andata.
Emanuela should have been on her way home, but she stayed behind, presumably to meet the man who'd offered her the Avon job. My elder sister Natalina remembers that night like it was yesterday.
In testa sono rientrata la sera dopo le 8 a casa perché avevo lavorato tutto il giorno e ho trovato solo mia madre disperata che Emanuela non era rientrata. Andatela a cercare, sarà successo un incidente.
That night, nobody slept. As my family prayed for Emanuela's return, I searched the streets. At dawn, Natalina went to